The alarms blared in the escape pod as Ryan Yates struggled to keep consciousness, his hands trembling on the manual controls. The small vessel tumbled through the violet-tinged atmosphere of Proxima Centauri b, a planet humanity had only recently discovered housed an advanced alien civilization. Ryan's mission as a diplomatic courier had gone terribly wrong, and now he was plummeting toward the surface with failing systems and a gash across his forehead that leaked blood into his right eye. "Come on, you piece of junk," Ryan muttered, fighting with the unresponsive navigation system. The stars outside the viewport blurred as the pod spun, the heat shields glowing orange from atmospheric entry. The altimeter dropped rapidly. 5,000 meters, 4,000, 3,000. Ryan pulled back on the emergency thrusters, but they sputtered weakly. The pod shuddered violently as it descended through thick cloud cover. His last conscious thought before impact was that Ambassador Chen would be furious about the delayed diplomatic package. Ryan awoke to a strange, rhythmic beeping. His eyes fluttered open to a ceiling of swirling, iridescent patterns that seemed to move like liquid. The air smelled of something akin to eucalyptus mixed with copper. He tried to sit up, but found himself restrained by something that felt like warm putty across his chest and limbs. "Patient has regained consciousness," came a voice unlike any Ryan had heard before, like bubbles popping underwater but somehow forming words. A face appeared above him, and Ryan fought the urge to scream. The alien had 6 eyes arranged in a hexagonal pattern around a central proboscis. Its skin was a pale blue that seemed to pulse with an internal light, and tendrils that might have been hair or sensory organs floated around its head as if underwater. "Hello, human," the alien said, its mouth area expanding and contracting. "I am Dr. Vexel. You are in the central medical facility of Proxima City." Ryan swallowed hard, his throat dry. "The pod crashed, indeed. Your primitive vessel was recovered from the Western Plains. You suffered multiple injuries, including cranial trauma, 3 fractured ribs, a punctured lung, and significant blood loss." Dr. Vexel's tendrils swayed as he spoke, almost hypnotically. Ryan tried to process this information. He was the first human to be treated by alien medical professionals, as far as he knew. The Proximan civilization had only established contact with Earth 2 years ago, and diplomatic relations were still in their infancy. Dr. Vexel moved something that resembled a transparent tablet over Ryan's body. It glowed with symbols Ryan couldn't comprehend. "Your biology is fascinating, very inefficient in many ways but remarkably resilient." "Thanks, I guess," Ryan said, trying to remain calm. "How long until I can get back to my mission? I have important diplomatic materials that need to be delivered." "Your artifacts were recovered and transferred to your embassy outpost," Dr. Vexel said, manipulating the tablet. "As for your recovery, that depends on how your system responds to our treatments. We've had to adapt our methods considerably for your physiology." The alien doctor paused, its 6 eyes blinking in an unsettling sequence. It reached for something that looked like a stethoscope, except it was transparent and seemed to contain swirling liquid. The doctor placed it against Ryan's chest. "Hum." Dr. Vexel made a bubbling sound that might have been concern. "Your heart shouldn't be beating that fast," the alien doctor said. Ryan let out a small laugh despite his situation. "That's caffeine," he explained. "I had about 3 cups of coffee before the pod launched. It's a stimulant humans consume." All 6 of the doctor's eyes widened simultaneously. "You willingly consume cardiac stimulants as a routine practice?" "Well, yeah, helps us stay alert. It's from a plant on Earth." Dr. Vexel's tendrils bristled. "Fascinating and concerning. We must add this to your medical profile immediately. The alien tapped rapidly on the floating tablet. Are there other toxins you regularly consume that I should be aware of? Ryan thought for a moment. Alcohol sometimes. Some humans smoke tobacco, I don't. You ingest ethanol. The doctor's voice rose in pitch. Voluntarily, for recreation, yes. The restraints suddenly loosened, allowing Ryan to sit up. He realized he was wearing something like a hospital gown, but it seemed to be adapting to his body temperature, cooling or warming areas as needed. Your species continues to surprise us, Dr. Vexel said, adjusting something on a panel beside the bed. We've been studying human physiology since first contact, but there's much we don't understand. For instance, your pain responses are unusually varied. Ryan touched his forehead, expecting to feel the gash, but found only smooth skin. You healed me already. Cellular regeneration is standard procedure for traumatic injuries, Dr. Vexel explained, though your cells responded differently than expected. We had to modify the regeneration field 3 times. A door that Ryan hadn't noticed before slid open, revealing another alien. This one was taller, with 4 arms and skin that shifted between green and brown tones. It wore what looked like a uniform with insignia Ryan didn't recognize. Doctor, the Security Council requests an update on the human's condition, the newcomer said. Patient Yates is stable but exhibiting unusual cardiac patterns due to self-administered stimulants, Dr. Vexel replied. I recommend another 12 hours of observation before release. The uniformed alien nodded and left without acknowledging Ryan directly. Was that the police? Ryan asked. Security forces, Dr. Vexel corrected. Your crash site was initially treated as a potential incursion. Once your diplomatic credentials were verified, the situation was reclassified. Ryan relaxed slightly. So I'm not in trouble, not with us, the doctor said, though I cannot speak for your superiors. The human ambassador seemed quite agitated when informed of your accident. Ryan groaned. Ambassador Chen had a reputation for perfectionism. A crashed pod and delayed diplomatic package would definitely not please her. Can I contact the embassy? Ryan asked. Communication will be permitted after your medical evaluation is complete, Dr. Vexel said. Now, I need to conduct some additional tests to ensure your systems are functioning properly. Over the next hour, Ryan was subjected to a series of examinations unlike anything he'd experienced on Earth. Floating orbs of light scanned his body from head to toe. A device that resembled a glass butterfly landed on his forehead and somehow projected his thoughts onto a screen, mostly his anxiety about the situation and relief at being alive. Your neural patterns indicate elevated stress, Dr. Vexel observed. This is expected given your circumstances, but combined with the caffeine in your system, it's putting strain on your cardiovascular system. I'm the first human treated in an alien hospital, Ryan said. I think stress is pretty normal. Not the first, Dr. Vexel corrected. There was an incident 3 months ago involving a human maintenance worker at your embassy. Much simpler case, merely a broken appendage. That was news to Ryan. Embassy staff getting medical treatment from aliens would have been significant news back home. Your injuries were much more severe, the doctor continued. The punctured lung in particular required specialized intervention. Ryan took a deep breath, realizing he felt no pain. Well, thank you for saving my life. Dr. Vexel's tendrils rippled in what might have been pleasure or acknowledgement. It is my function. Though I must admit, human physiology presents interesting challenges. Your blood, for instance, is remarkably inefficient at oxygen transport compared to our hemolymph. Before Ryan could respond, a loud alarm sounded throughout the facility. Dr. Vexel's tendrils stiffened. "What's happening?" Ryan asked, suddenly alert. "Proximity alert," the doctor said, moving quickly to a wall panel. "Something has entered our atmosphere without authorization." Ryan felt a chill. "Another crash." "No," Dr. Vexel said, studying the panel. "Multiple objects, small and fast-moving." The alien turned all 6 eyes toward Ryan. "Are you expecting other humans to follow you?" "No," Ryan said honestly. "I was traveling alone." More alarms joined the first, creating a discordant chorus that made Ryan wince. Dr. Vexel moved to the door, which slid open to reveal chaos in the corridor beyond. Medical staff of various alien species rushed past, some carrying equipment, others herding patients to different areas. "You must remain here," Dr. Vexel instructed firmly, "for your safety and ours." "What's going on?" Ryan demanded, standing up despite feeling slightly dizzy. "I must attend to emergency protocols," the doctor said. "The facility is preparing for potential casualties." As Dr. Vexel turned to leave, the lights in the room dimmed momentarily, then brightened to an almost painful intensity. A booming voice spoke in an alien language through hidden speakers, then repeated in accented English. "Attention all personnel. Security alert level 1. Unidentified vessels have breached planetary defense perimeter. This is not a drill. Implement emergency protocol Zenith." Ryan's stomach dropped. "Doctor, is Earth attacking you?" Dr. Vexel's tendrils writhed agitatedly. "Unknown, but it would be illogical." "Our peace treaty." The floor beneath them shuddered violently, cutting off the doctor's words. The lights flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness before emergency lighting activated, bathing everything in an eerie blue glow. "That was close," Ryan said, his heart pounding even faster now. "Some kind of explosion." "Stay here," Dr. Vexel commanded, moving toward the door. "I must attend to potential casualties." "Wait," Ryan called. "Let me help. I have emergency medical training." The alien doctor paused, all 6 eyes blinking in that unsettling sequence again. "Your heart rate indicates you are still affected by your stimulant and now by stress hormones. You are not fit for emergency response." "I'm fine," Ryan insisted. "And I might understand what's happening better than you do. If those are Earth ships, I need to know." Another explosion rocked the building, closer this time. Something crashed in the corridor outside, followed by shouts in the bubbling alien language. Dr. Vexel seemed to make a decision. "Follow closely. Do not interfere unless instructed." Ryan hurried after the alien doctor into the corridor, which was now filled with smoke and scurrying medical personnel. They moved quickly through the chaos, passing rooms where injured aliens were being treated for burns and lacerations. "These wounds," Ryan observed, "they're from weapons fire." "Yes," Dr. Vexel confirmed grimly. "Energy weapon impacts, not consistent with Earth technology as we understand it." They entered what appeared to be a command center for the medical facility. Large screens displayed various parts of the city, many showing buildings on fire or damaged. Alien medical administrators coordinated response teams using communication systems that seemed to involve both technology and some form of telepathy. On the largest screen, Ryan saw something that made his blood run cold. The attacking ships didn't match any Earth design. They were angular, with protruding spines and glowing red energy signatures. They fired indiscriminately at buildings and fleeing civilians. "Those aren't human vessels," Ryan said, relieved but also terrified. "I've never seen anything like them." Dr. Vexel turned to an administrator, exchanged rapid-fire speech, then returned to Ryan. "They are Korvan raiders." a species from a neighboring star system that has historically attempted to pillage our technological achievements. You're at war with them, not formally. They conduct periodic raids, then retreat to their territory. We have defensive capabilities, but we're unprepared for this attack. Another explosion, much closer, shook the command center. Ceiling panels crashed down, and several aliens were struck by debris. Dr. Vexil immediately moved to assist them, extracting a device from a pocket that emitted a beam of golden light that seemed to stabilize the injured. Ryan rushed to help an alien with 4 arms who was pinned under a fallen support beam. With effort, he managed to lift it enough for the alien to pull free. The creature's skin changed color rapidly, perhaps in response to pain or fear. "Thank you, human," it gasped in accented English. The main doors to the command center burst open, and 3 aliens unlike any Ryan had seen before stormed in. They were tall, muscular beings with exoskeletons that gleamed metallic gray. Their faces were insectoid, with compound eyes glowing red and mandibles that clicked menacingly. They carried weapons that pulsed with energy. "Korvans," Dr. Vexil whispered to Ryan. "Stay down!" The raiders fired their weapons, sending bolts of crimson energy across the room. 2 medical administrators fell immediately, their bodies convulsing. Security personnel returned fire with blue energy beams, but the raiders wore armor that seemed to deflect most hits. Ryan ducked behind a console, his heart racing even faster now, a combination of caffeine, adrenaline, and pure terror. Dr. Vexil crouched beside him, tendrils drawn tight against his head in what Ryan assumed was fear. "What do they want?" Ryan whispered. "Technology," Dr. Vexil replied. "Medical advancements in particular. Our regeneration technology is valuable throughout this sector." One of the raiders shouted something in a harsh, clicking language. Security forces responded with another volley of fire. This time, one of the raiders was hit in an unprotected joint and fell, screeching in pain. The other 2 raiders retreated slightly, taking cover behind overturned equipment. They seemed to be reassessing their approach. "Is there another way out of here?" Ryan asked, trying to control his breathing. Dr. Vexil pointed to a small door at the back of the room. "Emergency exit, but we would have to cross open space to reach it." Ryan surveyed the situation. The remaining security personnel were pinned down, and the raiders were beginning to advance again, using fallen debris as cover. "I have an idea," Ryan said. "Do you have any medical stimulants here? Something stronger than my caffeine?" Dr. Vexil's eyes blinked in confusion. "Yes, emergency cardiostimulants for trauma patients. But why, if we can distract them, maybe we can reach that exit and get help." Ryan looked around desperately. "Or find weapons for ourselves." Dr. Vexil hesitated, then reached into a compartment in the console they were hiding behind. He extracted a small container with several vials of glowing blue liquid. "This is distilled xenoaline," the doctor explained. "It causes rapid heart rate acceleration and heightened neural function in most carbon-based life forms, for emergency use only." "Perfect," Ryan said, taking one of the vials. "If I can move fast enough to distract them, can you get to that weapons locker?" He pointed to a cabinet on the far wall where he had seen security personnel retrieving additional weapons earlier. "This is extremely dangerous," Dr. Vexil warned. "Combined with the caffeine already in your system, this could cause cardiac arrest." "Better than being shot," Ryan replied grimly. "On my signal, run for the weapons." Before the doctor could protest further, Ryan removed the cap from the vial and swallowed its contents in one gulp. The effect was almost instantaneous. Heat rushed through his veins like liquid fire, and his vision sharpened to an almost painful clarity. His heart hammered so hard he could feel it in his throat. Your heart shouldn't be beating that fast, Dr. Vexel said with alarm, medical instincts apparently overriding the immediate danger. That's caffeine plus whatever you just gave me, Ryan gasped, fighting to control the sudden energy surging through him. Now get ready. Ryan grabbed a piece of fallen debris, a metal panel about the size of a serving tray, and stood up. The world seemed to move in slow motion around him as the stimulant took full effect. He hurled the panel across the room, where it crashed into a display screen near the raiders, showering them with sparks. As they turned toward the noise, Ryan sprinted from cover, moving faster than he'd ever moved before. He zigzagged across the command center, drawing the raiders' fire while Dr. Vexel made a dash for the weapons locker. Energy bolts sizzled past Ryan, one grazing his arm and leaving a painful burn. But the stimulant dulled the pain and kept him moving. He vaulted over a console, kicked a chair toward one raider, and continued his erratic path around the room. Dr. Vexel reached the weapons locker and extracted 2 energy pistols. The alien doctor took aim and fired at the raiders with surprising accuracy. One raider was hit squarely in the chest and collapsed. The other turned its weapon toward Dr. Vexel. Ryan, seeing the doctor in danger, grabbed another piece of debris and hurled it directly at the remaining raider's head. The projectile connected with a satisfying crack against its exoskeleton, disorienting the creature long enough for Dr. Vexel to fire again, dropping the second raider. The command center fell silent except for the wail of distant alarms and the groans of the injured. Ryan stood in the middle of the room, his entire body trembling, heart beating so fast he could barely distinguish individual beats. "We need to secure the area," he gasped, the words coming out in a rush. "Check the corridors, barricade the doors, treat the wounded." He took a step forward and suddenly his vision swam. The room tilted alarmingly, and he felt his legs give way beneath him. Dr. Vexel moved with surprising speed, catching Ryan before he hit the floor. "Your system is overloaded," the alien doctor said, lowering Ryan gently to the ground. "The combination of stimulants has pushed your heart beyond safe parameters." Ryan could feel it now, the irregular, too rapid beating in his chest, the tingling in his extremities, the growing tightness in his lungs. "Worth it," he managed to say before darkness claimed him. Ryan drifted in and out of consciousness. He caught glimpses of Dr. Vexel working over him, of other medical personnel rushing about, of more security forces arriving. He heard snatches of conversation about stabilizing the human and neutralizing the cardiac accelerant. When he finally regained full consciousness, he was back in a medical bed, different from the first one. This room was smaller, with equipment that hummed softly. A translucent dome covered his chest, glowing with a gentle green light that pulsed in sync with his now steadier heartbeat. Dr. Vexel stood nearby, monitoring readings on a floating display. All 6 of the alien's eyes focused on Ryan as he stirred. "You are fortunate to be alive," the doctor said, moving closer. "The combination of your Earth stimulant and our emergency xenoalign nearly caused catastrophic cardiac failure." Ryan tried to speak, but found his throat dry. Dr. Vexel noticed and held a container of liquid to Ryan's lips. The water tasted slightly sweet but refreshing. "The raiders?" Ryan managed to ask after drinking. "Defeated," Dr. Vexel said. "Your distraction allowed our security forces time to regroup and counterattack. The Korvan vessels have retreated from our atmosphere. Casualties: 17 medical personnel and patients lost, 43 injured." The numbers would have been much higher without the warning from our defense systems. The doctor's tendrils moved in what Ryan was beginning to recognize as a gesture of respect. "Your actions in the command center saved many lives." Ryan tried to sit up, but found he was still too weak. "How long have I been out?" 28 hours, Dr. Vexel replied. "We had to place you in a metabolic suppression field to allow your heart to recover. The damage was significant." Ryan felt a flutter of fear. "Permanent damage, no," the doctor assured him. "Our regeneration technology has repaired the cellular stress. However, I must strongly advise against further caffeine consumption for at least 60 days. Despite everything, Ryan couldn't help but laugh, though it came out as more of a weak chuckle. No coffee for 2 months. That might kill me faster than the Raiders. Dr. Vexel's eyes blinked in sequence. Human humor. Fascinating. You jest about the very substance that nearly contributed to your death. It's a coping mechanism, Ryan explained. Has the embassy been notified about what happened? Yes. Your Ambassador Chen has been in contact regularly. She was quite insistent on speaking with you once you regained consciousness. As if on cue, the door to the room slid open, revealing a stern-faced woman in her 50s, wearing the formal uniform of the Earth Diplomatic Corps. Ambassador Chen's expression was a mixture of relief and irritation as she entered. "Courier Yates," she said formally, "I see you've managed to survive yet again." "Madam," Ryan acknowledged weakly, "sorry about the pod." She waved a hand dismissively. The diplomatic package was recovered intact, which is the important thing. Her expression softened slightly. "Though I would prefer not to lose any more staff to bizarre medical incidents." Dr. Vexel stepped forward. "Ambassador, your courier's physiology responded unexpectedly to our emergency treatments. The interaction with the caffeine in his system—" "Yes, doctor, I've read your report," Ambassador Chen interrupted. "It seems Mr. Yates's coffee addiction has become an interstellar incident." Ryan winced. "In my defense, I didn't expect to crash on an alien planet and then get attacked by space pirates all in the same day." The ambassador's lips twitched in what might have been the ghost of a smile. "Nevertheless, your actions during the Korvan incursion have been noted. The Proximan High Council has formally expressed their gratitude." She turned to Dr. Vexel. "When will he be fit for transport back to the embassy?" "Another 24 hours of observation would be prudent," the doctor replied. "The human cardiovascular system is remarkably resilient but still requires time to fully stabilize after such stress." Ambassador Chen nodded. "Very well. Courier Yates, I expect a full report once you're discharged." She turned to leave, then paused. "And Ryan, no more coffee while you're on diplomatic assignments. That's an order." After she left, Ryan sighed. "She's actually in a good mood, must be the diplomatic success." Dr. Vexel's tendrils rippled. "Your superior seems formidable." "She's the best diplomat Earth has," Ryan said. "Tough but fair." Over the next day, Ryan's strength gradually returned. Dr. Vexel explained the treatments in detail, how they had used a specialized field to slow his heart rate, while simultaneously repairing damaged tissue at the cellular level. The alien showed genuine curiosity about human medical practices, particularly the casual use of stimulants like caffeine. "Your species consumes this substance daily?" Dr. Vexel asked, recording Ryan's responses on the transparent tablet. "Many of us do," Ryan confirmed. "Coffee, tea, energy drinks, they all have caffeine. Some people have it multiple times a day." "And the effects? Beyond increased heart rate, increased alertness, reduced fatigue, some people get jittery or anxious if they have too much. Most develop a tolerance over time." Dr. Vexel's tendrils twisted in what Ryan now recognized as fascination. "Your species willingly induces mild cardiac stress for improved cognitive function. This explains much about human behavior that has puzzled our xenobiologists." When it was time for Ryan to be discharged, a small delegation arrived to escort him back to the Earth Embassy. To his surprise, it included not just security personnel, but also a representative from the Proximan High Council. "Courier Ryan Yates," the counselor said, her 4 arms performing an elaborate greeting gesture. "On behalf of the High Council, I extend our deepest gratitude for your assistance during the Korvan incursion. Your courage in the face of danger exemplifies the best qualities we hope to find in our new interstellar allies." Ryan, now dressed in a fresh Earth diplomatic corps uniform provided by the embassy, bowed slightly. "I just did what anyone would do in that situation. Dr. Vexel is the real hero. He saved my life twice." The counselor turned to Dr. Vexel. "Your adaptability in treating an alien physiology under emergency conditions has been noted, Doctor. The Medical Academy wishes to study your methods." Dr. Vexel's tendrils rippled with what seemed like pride. "I simply applied our principles to a new biological framework. The human's resilience was the decisive factor." As the delegation prepared to depart, Dr. Vexel approached Ryan with a small container. "This is a supply of cardiac regulator tablets," the alien explained. "Take one daily for the next 30 days. It will help your system fully recover while preventing the negative effects of caffeine withdrawal." Ryan accepted the container gratefully. "Thank you, Doctor, for everything." "One final recommendation," Dr. Vexel added, all 6 eyes focusing intently on Ryan. "Consider moderating your caffeine intake permanently. Your heart will thank you." Ryan smiled. "I'll try. Though to be honest, that first cup, when I'm allowed to have it again, might be the best coffee I've ever tasted." The journey back to the Earth Embassy was surreal. The Proximan city had suffered damage from the Korvan attack, but repair efforts were already underway. Floating drones assembled scaffolding around damaged structures, while maintenance crews cleared debris. At the embassy, Ryan was debriefed thoroughly about both his crash and the Korvan attack. Intelligence officers were particularly interested in his first-hand observations of the raiders' weapons and tactics. "This is the closest look we've gotten at Korvan technology," one analyst explained. "The Proximans have been reluctant to share details of previous raids, citing security concerns." A week later, fully recovered and cleared for duty, Ryan found himself in Ambassador Chen's office, receiving a new assignment. "The diplomatic package you delivered has opened new avenues for cooperation," she explained, sliding a datapad across her desk. "Particularly in the field of medicine. The Proximans were impressed by your resilience during treatment and have proposed a joint medical research initiative." Ryan scanned the datapad. "They want to study human responses to various compounds. Specifically, how our bodies process stimulants and other substances that are toxic to their species but beneficial to ours," the ambassador clarified. "Dr. Vexel has personally requested to lead their research team." Ryan looked up, surprised. "And my role in this?" "Liaison," Ambassador Chen said. "You've established rapport with Dr. Vexel, and you have first-hand experience with their medical procedures. Plus," she added with the faintest hint of amusement, "you're already well-versed in the effects of caffeine on the human body." 3 months later, Ryan sat in a Proximan research laboratory, watching as Dr. Vexel analyzed data from the latest round of experiments. The Joint Research Initiative had grown to include 20 human volunteers and a team of 15 Proximan medical specialists. "The results are fascinating," Dr. Vexel said, tendrils waving excitedly. "The compound in your coffee beans shows potential applications for treating certain Proximan neurological conditions when properly modified." Ryan nodded, sipping from a cup of herbal tea. He'd finally been cleared to consume caffeine again, but had decided to limit himself to 1 cup of coffee in the morning. So my caffeine addiction might actually lead to medical breakthroughs. Indeed, Dr. Vexel confirmed. And the cardiac regulator we developed for you has shown promise in treating human arrhythmias. The exchange of medical knowledge benefits both our species. Ryan thought back to that moment in the medical facility when Dr. Vexel had first noticed his elevated heart rate. What had started as a simple observation about caffeine had led to an expanding field of cross-species medical research. "You know," Ryan said, setting down his tea, "when you told me my heart shouldn't be beating that fast, I never imagined it would lead to all this." Dr. Vexel's tendrils formed what Ryan now knew was the alien equivalent of a smile. In medicine, unexpected observations often lead to the most significant discoveries. Your abnormal heart rate may ultimately save many lives, both human and Proximan. Outside the laboratory window, the violet sky of Proxima Centauri darkened toward evening, stars beginning to appear. The Earth Embassy glowed in the distance, a symbol of humanity's first steps into a wider galactic community. And it had all started with a crashed pod, an alien doctor, and a human's caffeine-fueled heart beating too fast.